Hey, I'm back, Algebra 1 students. Happy Monday. So this is lesson 6. Today is April the 6th, and we're just going to take some time reviewing the factoring that we learned last week, and then we're going to move on to factoring cubes. That's tomorrow's lesson. Okay, so the first kind of factoring we learned was called GCF, greatest common factor. How do you find it? It's the biggest number that will go into 16 and 20, which would be 4. And then on the variables, x squared or x to the first power, it's the smallest exponent, which would be x to the first power. Difference of squares. How do you recognize them? The numbers are always perfect squares. A difference of squares only has 2 terms. It means it's a binomial. And there's always a minus in the middle. So that's how you can recognize those. A trinomial has 3 terms. You need to remember factor, skip, factor. And it's this sign at the end that determines if the signs are either going to be the same or different. That's a plus sign right there. So that means your signs would be the same. Plus, plus, minus, minus. Alright, now I'm going to do a few examples of those. And then I'm going to talk just a little bit about cubes today. Alright, so I have seen misplaced my eraser. If you'll give me just a moment. So, example 1. A lot of you have turned in assignments, and I appreciate that, so keep up the good work. Some of you I need to contact through message or email or something because you haven't turned in any work at all. Example 1 looks something like this. 2x squared plus 8x minus 12. And you go, oh, that's 3 terms. Factor, skip, factor. Yeah, that's what I would have thought too, but you got to check for GCF first. They're all even numbers, so you know 2 will go into it. So you put a 2 on the outside. Check the variables. X squared, x the first, or no x's. Smallest exponent wins, so no x's. And so it's just a GCF for right now. So you're just dividing by 2. When you do a GCF, there's only 1 parenthesis. So 2 going to 2 one time. Bring down your x squared plus 2 going to 8, 4 times, bring down your x, minus 2 going to 12, 6 times. Now you would try to factor, skip, factor, but I'm telling you, it doesn't work. If you tried x times x, 6 times 1, and then 1 times 6, and then 2 times 3, and then 3 times 2. None of that would work. So then you would have to go back and say, hey, this is my final answer for that one. Because there's not 2 numbers that when you multiply them give you 6, but when you subtract them, give you 4. None of those numbers would work. All right, example 2 then. So that kind of reviews our GCF. Now, let's review a trinomial one. How about x squared minus 9x minus 36? It doesn't have a GCF. So you're going to factor, skip, and then factor again. So how do you factor x squared? X times x. skip over the middle. How do you factor this minus? Different. What does different mean? One's a plus, the other one's a minus. Two numbers that give you 36. Well, I don't have that front number, so I do not have to switch my combination. So 1 times 36, 2 times 18, 3 times 12, 4 times 9, 6 times 6. How do you know which combination works? Well, when they subtract, it gives you the middle number. So which one of those would give me 9? 3 and 12 would give you 9 when you subtract. So I'm going to put the 3 here and the 12 here. And the trinomials are the ones you have to check. Well, how do you check them? Inside, outside. So on the inside, you get positive 3x, and then negative 12x on the outside, which gives you negative 9x. Hey, we found the answer. Now, let's go on to review a difference of squares. Now, so far, this is the things that you should know. GCF, trinomial, and difference of squares. And we have one more kind of factoring, and we'll do that tomorrow. That'll be called cubes. All right, so example 3 is 2x squared minus 18. Oh, well, you know what? That has a GCF. So you're going to take out a 2. 2 going to 2 one time. Bring down your x squared minus 2 going to 18 9 times. And this it turned into a difference of squares. And so you're going to bring down the 2. You're going to open up 2 parentheses. X squared is x times x. Again, how do you factor a minus? That means different. What does different mean? 1 plus, 1 minus. And then when you get to the number, what do you do with it? You take a square root. So the square root of 9 is 3. And that was a GCF mixed with the difference of squares.